Do it. Hold on. Let me see.
Welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib Wednesday night. We're going to talk about VXP Weekend, the new TLCs, and I petitioned to not have the raid extended by two hours, but 6 days because we loved it so much. And I'd like to welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Ben, welcome to the show. And Yep. And from left to right, it's Father George. Actually, no, wrong screen. It's Magic Mike.
Happy day.
And Father George.
Good evening, everybody.
And I guess if you could pop up the slides there, Mike.
I think you need to put me on present maybe because I thought I tried to do that already.
Nope, you haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Okay, sorry. I have to do one more step here.
Yep. All righty, there we go. And go to full screen. And we're good.
I think I got it.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Yep, we're good. Let's go to the
all right.
Our bug fixes.
Hello.
There we go.
Yeah, and the exclamation mark for full.
You know that, right?
Exclamation mark for full premium resource generators in the wrong place. Wow, I wonder who filed that ticket. Here's another one that's more important, and it seemed to have some side effects that we'll get into. The Tier 8 PvE ship, the Eradicator, couldn't attack NPC targets on the world map. And that's been fixed. And we'll get a little bit more into the side effects. I think it's a side effect of that, but we'll in the slide. But misalignment in private messages scroll bar fixed. Yes. We got some people that are sending in some interesting feedback. Let's click once there, Mike. Regarding the issue addressed above with the, basically, Conquerors can hit salvages. They can also hit the old campaigns, which is really helpful if you have any of the Breacher Dreadnoughts built because of the 40,000 cargo, or I'm sorry, 40 million cargo capacity, which allows you to collect a lot of resources much easier than before. So it's they're not putting out a hot fix for it right away, but don't be mad when they take it away.
I don't know why they would take it away. I mean, honestly, just leave it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, until they find a better solution. I mean, because right now they don't have a good solution to the resource issues, and they should have put this into action like 3 weeks ago when we had the Tier 7 tokens, and that would have fixed a lot of issues. Because when they dropped OP 11.5 with the refactor and all the other stuff, all the walls, all the fortifies, all the upgrades, all that bullshit, resources prevented a lot of people from using these things to their full ability. So it should be around for at least a week, according to what Kickside Chris said, our community manager. So anybody else have any bug fixes? Comments on the ones I ran through real quickly?
I don't know. I know that the chat, every once in a while, if you're in Alliance chat, it jumps to World chat without you doing a damn thing. I don't know if that's being fixed, got fixed. I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not certain either. Okay. Well, let's go on to the next slide.
I'm curious.
VXP,
Ben said something about an undocumented feature. I'm kind of curious which one he's talking about.
I think that we just covered it.
Oh, that was one? Okay.
Yeah. He wasn't sure if it was a glitch, and that's what we call them in code. VXP Weekend starts this 2 days from now, or a day and a half. We're going to have new targets. They're going to be siege targets. The 88 is going to be the special high level one, which will spawn for 36 hours. And I got confirmation from Robot and Discord that there's not going to be any real change associated with the way the Siege VXP targets work in regards to getting offensive VXP for killing the buildings in there. At least that's the way I took what he said.
It sounded because I asked as well, and they said so. They're not the terrorist and stuff, like the building stuff is not going to give VXP. But one of them said something along the lines of an additional bonus VXP for completing the target.
Yeah, that's the 3 Defender tokens.
No. Towards the hull, towards the fleet that's in there, I think.
No,
I'm not sure.
that's not the way I read it, because I tried to clarify that, because we've always had that. We've always had that extra. If you complete it, you get rereading what I wrote, because that's what I was trying to clarify.
Part of it was in another chat.
Okay. Well, as far as I know, that's what he told me, and so I mean, basically, from the way I read his reply was, there's no real reason to put anything besides a Thud 1 on your ship, on your Eradicators, to try and level them up.
Well, that's great.
And I think a lot of people would probably have a good bit of difficulty probably killing this target with Eradicators, in the current state to try and finish the target. So this originally said 24 hours. I think they're testing us, because they keep every single time, it seems like, they create a 24-hour schedule, and then they switch it to 36 like 3 or 4 hours after it's posted. So, any other thoughts on VXP Weekend?
Evening, guys. Anyway, by the way.
Hey, Irv, how are you doing?
Not too bad.
Fuck out of
here. Just a silly season, so I've been a bit busy. So I do apologise for not being around.
It's the smoke pig season in the UK.
Well, no, it's Christmas parties and all that lot.
Okay,
all
right.
To do.
I'll just check.
So, yeah.
Alrighty. So VXP Weekend. Normally, these targets provide more VXP for just merely dying than the other ones, because you don't have the ability to get offensive VXP. So it's probably better for doing stuff that's not tuned toward the target. So probably better off with your Proto Apollos this time around than you were last time, because they couldn't do crap against the skirmish targets. So
I want to just take a moment right now and just say hi to Mrs. Earth. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for the adult language. Miss you lots. Love you. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay. All righty. Well, let's go on to the next slide then, Mike. All right. We had this on the Friday show or last Wednesday show. Just so everybody knows, we just got the Eradicator weapon and special. We're supposed to get the flagship, and from what I've seen posted, that's supposed to happen on December 27th. I haven't got a huge amount of confirmation. I've just saw it in Discord, I think by Chris one time. I think it was Chris, but it was definitely a Kixeye person. Also, as far as a calendar would go, the bounty hunt is supposed to be the 20th. And I think that lines up for the next raid being, I think, the 3rd, if I'm right. January 3rd is a Thursday. So, yeah, it's interesting because there's not really a time for us to gather VXP for the Eradicator Flagship.
No.
You know, because it's the
But
last
it's right,
week.
because coin in rank's not like 1,000 coins anymore, though, is it? So
Yeah, that's true. But it's still significant for a lot of players.
well, agreed. Because like, if you had to do it on cargo, it's stupid amounts. Because obviously
I don't even know if
the
you
health
can
points
anymore.
and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I took the Eradicator into 75 Elite and took 28 minutes damage.
What?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, yeah, it's. I think probably the reason we haven't got a December calendar is I think a lot of people are going to be not happy. Even though it's December 12th, we've yet to see a December calendar outlining the activities because basically we're going to have, at least, what I'm used to in the US is a lot of people basically, they start going on vacation, like the 22nd, and they may not really come back until January 2nd. They might be traveling during that period of time, and during that period of time, we'll see both the bounty and an activity that's going to be required for them to do in order to get the flagship for the raid, which will be the following week. So
yeah, but that's fine because you can't have a life. You need to play Battle Pirates like constantly. It's just why have a life when you can play Battle Pirates and spend all your money and shit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Correction,
there is that issue, and then there's the other issue of they're doing these holiday events, and which in a lot of games are sort of frivolous things, but not. I don't consider the flagship right before the raid to be a frivolous thing, and that thing that we got for Halloween, which is not a traveling holiday in the U.S. In order to get the antis that showed up as being quite necessary to useful to necessary in this raid cycle, and very difficult to get afterwards. I think they're sort of missing the point of these holiday, events. They're, they become necessities as opposed to.
Are they or are we? That's the question.
They are basically they're just going, well, you've got more free time, so yeah, let's give you something to do.
Yeah, and that's true for a lot of players. I mean, that's true, but a lot of players are also, traveling to meet the in-laws, and or not meet them, but
or like me, just constantly working through December, pretty much.
Blah, blah, blah.
Or there's a lot of players that are burnt out.
Yeah.
I heard you, Mrs. Earth.
Yeah. So, and then in the January raid, you're going to receive the Shrike, which is basically a siege sub with launchers on it. And that's when we should get the weapon, the Hall weapon and special at that point. And I left up the new siege armor, which we'll get to, which we've sort of seen. It's sort of surprising, but we'll get more to that in detail as far as what we've gotten as FM prizes. Anybody else have much more on this?
No, but I'll correct my statement. It was 3 Eradicators that took 28 minutes damage in the 75 Elite. just to correct the record.
Okay.
Chuck Zelos in with it.
I was just trying them out.
Yeah, no, just
bringing a blank Brennus.
Yeah.
All right. Dragon Slayer.
Wait, what did we miss?
You can read. It's some girl with a Slayer T-shirt on.
Okay. I was gonna say it flipped by so fast. I was like, wait, did I just see something?
I clicked once. I was wondering myself why it went away so fast.
Yeah, it's an animation thing. It's only supposed to be up there for like 3 seconds. So, general thoughts on this. We're going to get to the technology.
I like her as the new Greta. That's my thought.
Okay. Yeah, well, we should have had Greta in a Slayer t-shirt.
Her neck got shorter.
Yeah, well, it's the dog collar or whatever else she's got going on. So any general thoughts? We had quite a bit of swing and the damage associated with pretty much all the targets. The S targets slowly creep down. The lower targets corrupt up quite significantly. And then eventually we had a pretty sizable reduction in the S targets damage, the 108 and the 110, which I think the 108 started to creep back up. Or I was just driving worse towards the end. I'm not certain.
I don't know. I think it's nuts to keep doing that crap. But personal opinion.
Yeah. And, you were assuming that they were all just going to keep on going up. But, I thought they were going to bring this one down. And they did bring it down. And I'm glad that they announced it when they did. They told us that they've gone up. These have gone up. These have gone down, yada, yada. As opposed to what they were doing before, was just making all these adjustments and not telling us. So we didn't know if our refits were fucked up, our crews were fucked up. We assumed it was on us. And
I still
if they're going to do it, at least tell us. Go ahead.
I still think though, if you're going to design an event, right, and at the start of the event things are doing one thing, right, that's it. You just got to leave it there, because otherwise, it's people are going to be trying to like swap things around and stuff like that. And then if you're going to adjust the damage or adjust certain mechanics or whatever in the actual targets, people who've just then gone to refit something on the original basis is then going to refit again to do it, and it's going to just really piss people off. So I think, yeah, all right, fair enough, you've let us know and stuff, but design it and just go with it, because
if they had done that, you would have pissed people off if they left it the way it was.
Yes, definitely.
People weren't doing it. I the first day I did one target, and they said they changed it twice, and then I did another target, and I wasn't happy with either one of them. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till they fix this. And then the next day I started hitting targets, and they went down significantly. Like I was taking about a third of the damage I was the first day.
Yeah, fair enough. I meant like more towards the lower end of the damage hikes upwards. I think that if it's totally unbalanced and things are, too far in favor of Kixeye and people are taking too much damage and obviously not then sort of like coming in, getting involved in it. But I think that like actual damage hikes upwards is a bit steep sometimes, and it's going to really piss people off a lot. Yeah. So it's
where it ended up. Where it ended up is still, I think, a little higher than I would be, that I'm comfortable with. I mean, the baseline, because I always do autos to baseline, and I literally the first day I hit one, I went, yeah, screw this, I didn't play again. I had a couple more the next day, and they got it down to the point. So there was a bug in the 110 if you autoed, where you could go into a perpetual circle of death, where you're just completely circling, doing a big circle in the middle of the screen, not hitting anything, and you just eventually died. And initially I was told that was just an interaction of the slowdown effect in the hull, but I sat and watched it and took a video one time, and there was no frost fields or anything. So I don't know if they're going to correct that. I know by the end of the thing, I was doing both targets on auto for about 2 hours and like 15 minutes. I could get with bat rays, I could get the 108 down driving to, I think, like an hour and 15, an hour and 20. And that's good for the driving part. It's the when you've got only one of the hulls and you have to either auto or drive them with just one. I mean, we're still kind of carrying over the whole idea of them telling us you only need one hull. And I don't know that they quite understand how because it's the player perspective that's really important. And we as players do not see it as, yeah, you only need one hull. We really need two hulls because we want efficiency because damages are out of control. Now, if you were taking, 20 minutes of damage per target, and if you only had one hull, it was 20 and 25 minutes, or excuse me, or 20 and 30 minutes, then yeah, you can say you don't need both hulls, but not from what we're seeing right now. I mean, that's at least from a player perspective.
Even if you were taking 20 and 40, it's not that bad, really.
Yeah, I never tried it. I never tried it.
When you're taking like 3 times as much damage in the opposite targets, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So what did it end up being? I never tried it because I have a fleet of each. I was towards the end. I was taking them like an hour and 10 to like an hour, basically a little less than an hour and 15 minutes on both targets, but using the right hulls. What were you doing? What was the damage if people were using the wrong hull?
I don't know, because I wasn't willing to try doing testing because the damage was just outrageous, and I lost the first day. I think I lost most of the second day because I just didn't want to do this one at all. I mean, it turned me off so bad on the first day. I didn't even finish that great in the raid overall, but I didn't touch them until I think the last day, just to see what the damage was going to be, and they ended up being the same for the auto. For driving, I took less. Let me see. I took 125 in the 110, and I took, with the razors in the 108 driving, was maybe 150-ish.
Okay. But you don't have a dedicated anti-ship.
I drive them. Oh yeah, I do. That's how I can. Okay. That's why I could do the 108 in auto for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. And then I was able to, like the last run I did, I think I got the 110 with my my razors, which I'm new at. This is the first raid I've had up. I think it was down to 106 on the the last couple of 106 was the last one I hit. But yeah, it was, I mean, to be honest, the way to do it was to hit the 89s if you didn't mind grinding a little bit, because you would get 800,000
for instant repair damage.
Yeah, instant repair. I was getting it was 7 on the 7 to 10 on the map, and then instant in the base. Just take out your flag and then just instant repair it and find another one.
I was doing this 69 instant repair on the map and then doing 89, so you get almost $1 million almost $1 million for one run.
Yeah, and I tried to auto them, and I chickened out on autoing it because I was looking really close at getting instant in the dock with autoing them. But what's the point of instant in the autoing it and then having to rip the ship apart later? It was, I don't know. But it was a long raid. And I want to go back to the point that Earth made as far as having them tune it and make the decision and then have it go from there. Because I think as far as the damage points go, the players have the lowest damage point. Probably the game designers probably have the next step up, and then you have what product wants to have is the damage number. And so having them test it beforehand and decide what the damage number should be, I don't know that we would like that. I think that's probably what we got, is what whoever won the political battle and decided this is what the damage number should be. Because I'm sure they do testing on what that's going to be. It's just not what the players wanted, especially at this point in the raid where everybody's anxious to get the next level for the next raid cycle that's coming up. I think it's probably just whoever wins the battle of how much damage we're going to take.
Or is it a plot? They start out super high. We complain real hard. They bring it down, not quite to where we'd like it to be, but significantly lower. And then it's higher than we'd like it to be.
No,
but,
in the past,
This one was harder than that.
Yeah, in the past they've always done they started at damage and then subtly move it up and then deny that they did. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true too. You're right.
Okay. Well, let's move on to some of the tech that we want and how we're going to move forward. No, not the Slayer check. But
Yeah,
one more.
I hit the wrong button. I thought I hit it. Try
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
There we go.
there we go. We won the Eradicator, which when I put this slide together did have a expert build, which they took away afterwards. You know, a lot of people, I would recommend building 4 at this point, and then we're going to get the flag the 27th, as far as I know. We don't know anything about the flag. I don't know. You could say we build 5 for the stacking bonuses, but you're going to get the stacking bonuses on the other one.
We hope.
The defense, we're not running into the problem that we ran into with the so far with the Bat Ray and the Razor Tail, where you start arming this thing up and you're 99%. You're not going to get to that point. But again, we're running into the point, which we'll talk about a little bit later, as far as the targets. We don't know a lot about the targets at this point, as far as which one of these 2 points is important. Ballistic or radioactive. You know, which it appears, we'll get to it, but I think ballistic is the unavoidable damage. Rad is the secondary damage, with some of it being avoidable based on what they've given us. Thoughts on the hull by itself? We'll get to the specials and we'll get to the FM armors and whatnot as far as to build it later. But any thoughts on the hull by itself? Besides the fact, if you look at it in your dock, it looks like a skull inside of a black shoe, but it doesn't look that way here.
And it's huge on the map. Well,
Okay.
not huge. It's big on the map.
Okay.
So the one thing that I had said, and I think I posted some numbers on Discord, what I was concerned about, because I said if they're going to follow the idea that they had before, like they did in this raid set where we hit those really high resistance numbers, we were going to see, you know, new armors coming out of something. And we kind of did. I mean, I think the numbers get up to like, I think you can get them up to like 95 or something like that.
Yeah.
With the new armors. So I don't know. I mean, I threw out like a 25 to 30% on the armor value, and it ended up coming out at 30. So I'm not liking this really high resistance thing at all.
I mean, 'cause if you look at it with it works out better if you use CL3 than using anything else, using any other combination. And with 5 in a fleet, it works out to like, I think it's 99.6 with 5 in a fleet, high resistance.
So we did it again, and it was that. I mean, and I think I said in Discord, because I thought I was joking. I was like, hold on, I'm gonna run the numbers just to see what it would have to be, and I came up with like 25 to 30%. And that's only using. That's not actually using the new armors either. So that's actually using the CRC1.
Yeah. The double charge, yeah.
Yeah, the double charge. So then that can get you up with 5 into the high 99.5s to 99.6.
Okay, you're assuming the stacking and the frenzy?
Yeah, no, just the stacking, I think. If I remember rightly.
Maybe. I think you're including both of them.
Yeah,
both the frenzy and the stacking to get that number. And we don't know how hard it is going to be to hold that frenzy. Yeah. Because of the decay of every 7 seconds losing a stack. So,
which stacking are we talking about?
The stacking on the frenzy.
There's no stack. It's just one. Oh, the stack
like a
of 4. I
bloodthirst.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
The bloodthirst is 4. That's per individual ship. So there's no. It's not like the other hulls where you get 50, 50, 50 for each hull. It's just how many frenzies you get up to the 50%. Because
Yeah.
with the frenzy and the base hull resistance and the split armor, if the armor was at 20, because the numbers that I ran originally, if the armor was 25 a piece, it came out to 99.3% or something like that.
Yeah, and by the time you take into account the duplicate aura cap on the special abilities for the extra 20%, it works out. I'm pretty sure it works out at
What duplicate aura cap?
99.5.
What duplicate aura cap at 20%?
On the Eradicator scrap sheath on it, as well as not including the frenzy, just on the special abilities.
On the bottom special ability itself. Okay, I gotcha. I see what you know. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the stacks that you guys are talking about, is the special ability stack, not the.
I was talking about the frenzy stack. I was talking about max stacks on that.
Okay.
And the ability to keep the frenzy alive and what you're going to, we haven't hit the targets, so we don't know the ability for us to.
So you were talking about a different thing. Okay, now I'm less confused. Alrighty then.
There you go. Let's move on to the. Should we move on to the next one? This one confuses me because once you start trying to put a ship together, the only thing that I feel really confident in right now is siege battery at this point. But when I try to compare the welded barrel system to siege targeting, I'm sort of like, is the projectile speed and the bonus combat speed that important to put this on as opposed to the siege targeting?
I have a feeling that speed is going to be really important, particularly in that arc, or avoiding the arc, or whatever the hell. Like, I mean, we're not going to know until this week, but we should have a good idea quickly.
I mean, if you read the release notes for the like tactics thing, it's saying that you're going to be able to bypass certain weapons because they're going to have a set arc. So getting through those arcs is probably going to be quite important. So speed's probably going to be up there if you want to kind of avoid stuff. Would have thought, especially when they start, because it says in there that throughout the cycle they're going to start to be able to move the arcs as well. So
yeah, we'll get to that. And Ren's saying that I can't compare it to the siege targeting. They are different. I admit that, but with the limited number of spots you have to use, they're comparable from the fact that you might use one versus the other because they both increase damage.
Yeah, it's the. Do you want the trade-off of losing the speed and the projectile speed for that 25%, extra damage, or
I mean, realistically,
do you want to, go for a whole lot of extra building damage and get rid of the target quicker? It's kind of like a trade-off conversation.
Yeah, and the other thing that that's not apparent here on the blueprint is that you're getting an extra 25% damage on if you have R&D 30 on your 12% that you already have. So because you already have that plus 12% critical chance, but this is adding 25% damage to that, and then you're also getting the bonus critical chance as well. So it's a little convoluted, but I still don't think it adds up to the what is it, 170? I forget the numbers on the siege targeting, but they're huge. They're not. They're larger than this. So
I mean, you've got to kind of look at more of the other things that you want to look at is kind of the the cannon system 5 versus the nuke accelerators and stuff like that as well, which is more kind of relevant than this toward.
Well, those are both adding range as well, and those are necessary. You have to do one or the other. I'm just talking about as far as
I'm
the specials
what I'm saying though
here.
is if you're looking at putting on, I mean, does this stack with nuke accelerators? Because you're gaining it's 25% combat speed or 27 or something stupid like that with nuke accelerators. Also, you got to remember as well that the weapon doesn't do splash damage, so nuke accelerator 1 is a lot quicker to build than nuke accelerators 2, and it's the same stats basically, bar the accuracy, which doesn't matter because it's a siege hull. And
and I wasn't really talking about stacking. More my issue was the number of specials, because these are ballistic and you have to put the range special on. And then we also run into this issue in the siege cycle where are you better off putting reflective coating and layered on at the same time? And there's a lot of potential, this is one ship you could put 10 specials on. It's not the stacking, it's just I feel much more limited in the specials that I can use in this one. You don't have extra specials on this ship like you did, you did in the skirmish raid. This one is much tighter in the siege raid as far as you need these specials. Which ones do you choose as opposed to like, okay, well, I got 5 I'm going to use, and the 6th one, I'll do this or that. This one feels much more like we need, not that we need more specials, but you want more specials on these ships. That's more the point. It's not the stacking issue. It's
I mean,
how do you become balanced?
I mean, if you're going to use 2 specials for your resistances, then that's more of an issue. But like I've already said, it works out better, I think, if you use the CL3 anyway. If you like look at it.
No, I agree. But if you start, I was playing around with the specials, and it's more than just doing that. There's a lot of, because you got like.
Oh, agreed. There is a lot of different variations that you can put on it, but
Let's move on to the weapon, Mike. This one's it does a lot of damage. No splash, no shockwave, no particle blast effect. It'll be interesting to see how this one works on the map targets. I think it's going to work a little bit more like the Hydras do, but it doesn't have the range that the Hydra does. It's a little bit shorter, and I'm not sure. Like a lot of people put the concussive Gatling gun on to keep them at a sweet spot. This is inside of that sweet spot with the Devastator cannon. You can't use that technique because the range, the 95% range of the concussive Gatling gun, secondary weapon, doesn't allow this to fire. So this it's going to be tricky to see how it works on the, if we start trying to use the Eradicators in the 103s or whatever, things that we've already seen on the map at this point.
So just to jump back here, because I just got a little bit of clarification. The intention is to have a... Let me see if I got this right here. So the intention is that if you complete the target, the fleet that's doing the attacking in the VXP weekend there should be a bonus for that fleet upon completion.
Okay, so it's a brand new mechanic they're not talking about.
I guess I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to catch somebody while they're doing their thing to actually get like a really clear clarification. But right now they're kind of just bouncing around, and I just happen to have someone just give me a yes answer to one of the questions. So
yeah,
I'll probably find out later on. I'll probably find out when when it gets released. That's when I'll get an answer and find out with everybody else. So
I mean, that's not cool to create a whole new mechanic and not communicate it. that's not.
I don't know that it's going to be a mechanic. I'm guessing that because I think they had done that once before in another VXP target. I want to say it was the Cannoneer one, where if you completed it, you got extra VXP. Was it the Cannoneer one?
The only one I know about completing is the Defender tokens.
Yeah, it was
can't
before.
recall
It was
anything
before
else.
the Defender tokens came out.
Yeah, it might have been the
Damn.
Cannoneer, I think.
I can't remember which one it was.
There was some sort of bonus you got, I think.
When you completed the target, right?
Yeah.
I could have swore. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they've done it before. I just can't remember. And I don't know, but I mean, I think it's cool because shit, I'd rather get something than nothing.
Yeah, but we talked earlier that players like to have put together efficient builds, and the assumption is with Siege Cycle is that the most efficient build as far as creating ships, equipping ships, and whatnot is basically a blank haul because you don't get anything from offense.
Well, I'll tell you this. For everybody watching, if you come and tune in on Friday, I'll tell you exactly how you can actually finish every single one of these targets with your Eradicators having one weapon on them all.
Sweet. Okay. Alrighty.
There you go. There you go, Hefe. I just had people come on. Yeah, come on in on Friday. I'll tell everybody. I'll probably even have a video. Or I might have a video. I don't know. We'll see.
Sweet.
If I have time.
All right. Let's move on to the next one and see what we got here.
Whoa.
All right. These are the FM prizes. And I wanted to bring this. These are sort of brought them in halfway because they're very related to what's going on with how we're going to build our siege fleets or Eradicator fleets. Currently, what I think most people have is a unlimited charged. I didn't bring up that. I don't have that here, but an unlimited charged. I forget. You brought it up. What's the name of it again, Arf?
C1 CR.
Yeah. And that provides, as far as defense goes, that provides plus 18% of ballistic and radioactive, and also 20% or 20, not 20%, but 20 structure and and ship deflection on top of it. It weighs a little bit more. Doesn't include any armor points. Also has no repair time. So this is a little tricky in my mind because we don't know the target. The other part of this is limited. We're only allowed to get one per FM. So the maximum you're going to be able to get of the D6C and the R, the radioactive version of this, is 3 of them prior to the next raid. So it's a little bit tricky on how you would want to build your ships right away without knowing a lot about the target.
Yeah, I mean, because if we've got similar mechanic to what we've got with the recent cycle we've had, where the flagship's taking most of the damage, you're not going to know where to put these arms on. If you not get what I mean. Do you want to put them on your regular ships? Do you want to put them on a flagship?
Maybe it's intended for the flag.
This is it, but nobody knows, do they? So
see, they've done this before in the past too, and I didn't like it. Where we couldn't get enough other shit that we needed for the raid in time.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, they just wanted to put a cap of 5 in there, didn't you? Put a cap of 5 in, and you can get 2 a week. Whatever. It's just silly, just making it only 3 available. In my opinion, however much I hate grinding out FM targets to get a bunch of armors and stuff, it's still beneficial to have a full set than just have 3. Because at least then you can put 1 on each ship, and you kind of covered a little bit, aren't you? So What's your thoughts on it, George?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking at equipping all of them. Like I want to be able to have a fleet that's fully equipped to do the damn raid, because I know the raid's tuned for a fully equipped fleet, right? And I don't want to have to fall back to putting armor on that I'm going to have to just refit out next month anyway. I'm so fucking tired of refitting crap. I don't know.
Yeah, and the whole refitting shit constantly, it's boring. It's a grind. It's, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere with it. I know it's kind of maybe to try and induce coining a bit, but I'll be honest.
Well,
I got to refit shit out. I'm not going to coin it because
here's the thing.
Changing armor out.
It's a strategy game, right? If I've come up with a really cool build, I want to enjoy the fact that I came up with a really cool build. I don't want it negated a day into the raid. I don't want it negated a week later. I don't want to have to constantly refit throughout the raid series because they're tuning the targets up because we've gotten more of the fleet, or we've gotten used to the fleet, or whatever the hell excuse it was to keep increasing damage. I've come up with an awesome build. I've invested the time to build it, to design it, to get all the equipment that I need for it, and equip that equipment. I want to have some sort of reward for my investment. And I just don't feel like I'm getting that right now.
Agreed. 100%. Exactly how I feel. It's just, I don't want to be refitting every 2 minutes. Refitting armors on, refitting armors off. Changing this special because another one's been brought out, and changing this special because another one's been brought out that's marginally better, but you know that if you don't change it over, that you're going to be screwed or whatever. It's just, it's beyond belief, really. Some of it.
It's burning me out.
It's like, when they turn around and they say they want to get rid of the grindiness of chores and stuff like that, you're going to just get rid of the grindiness in the game. Stop doing it. Stop doing this shit, because it's just makes it everything grindy. Because every week you're having to put more and more effort into doing the FM because you need the shit that you're putting in there to tune to the next targets up and and everything else. Just base it on fucking the one thing that you're going to release. Let people fucking build it, and don't make them refit 65 times in a fucking month.
I mean, I want. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because the whole point of even the raids, I mean, everything revolves around risk and reward, and I'm just not seeing a reward. My investments feel like they are devalued almost immediately. I come into a raid and I've gotten a full fleet out and I'm ready, and instead of having an advantage on the first raid, I'm at level playing field instead.
Because you've already got your fleet out, but the people that haven't got their full fleet out or haven't added on the armors yet,
they're completely screwed.
Yeah, but even so, they're still in a better position than you are after the raid, because if they've managed to get those armors that have just come out in the raid in order to refit them, or to fit them for the first time, they haven't got to refit them like you've got to, and you haven't done it twice. So it's kind of a bit. It feels a bit like a kick in the nuts, really. Sometimes with it, you work hard to get it all out, get a good build together, and as soon as the first raid comes out, you then got to refit that really good build.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's the good enough build where you get it done and it's good enough and you can just kind of coast through the whole raid set. I will admit I like tweaking mine because I like being on that ragged edge. But building that way, designing that way, playing that way, I also see how much I have to actually adjust because of the things that they are adjusting. So it's not like it's a linear change from raid to raid. There's tweaks and things that you have to, if you're trying to maximize out there, you have to adjust for. And you know, it used to be a pleasurable thing to, you know, hey, I gotta figure this out. It's a, you know, it's a puzzle within a puzzle. You gotta kind of outsmart the developers, and it's not enjoyable anymore. It's not like it used to be.
Yeah,
Well, no,
they're not going to let you win on certain things, right?
No,
Is that what you're
because
saying?
now they just flat out just negate the shit
Yeah.
when they see it, and that's, I mean, I don't know how many damn things I've done now that get fucking negated. I just, you know, we outsmart you. Just let us outsmart you for a fucking month. I mean, really? It's not like I'm taking 0 damage. I'm just taking less damage than you guys wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next slide because it's basically the same version. You know,
Round 2, fight.
yes. The next one's going to be different, but don't go to that one yet, Mike. Because basically, I don't know. We don't know how we're going to use these. Because again, we don't know what the dominant damage is. I assume it's ballistic, but again, if you use the old double combo, and if you get, you know, there's no reason to put 2 of D6R and 2 of D6C on a ship unless you want to go from 100,000 armor to 110,000 armor, because you're actually going to have more resistances associated with using the older armor, because it's 36% for one of both types, so it'd be 36%. So it does weigh a little bit more. It has I think 4 hours less of build time for the old charged armors than these ones. And it is odd that they're dropping tier 7 at this point, but they just dropped the tier 7 defender. It just seems out of whack, the way they're dropping stuff, especially. Well, does anybody have anything on the D6R? And
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is like this one they should have dropped a while ago. The D6X. This seems like something that should go on your FM fleet, potentially. In the right combination.
Oh, you can do it too.
Yeah.
It's good.
Again, this is limited. This is limited, so you're going to get one per week.
Right.
Yeah, but this will have to.
Very interesting for the FM.
Yeah.
It's good for me because the rest of my, apart from my Greta, the rest of my fleet's built the opposite way around. So this will work out better for me than putting the D6M on there, because it's built the opposite way around to my Greta, which is crazy. But it just saves me refitting specials, and I can just refit the armor, so it's good.
Yeah. And so it's what you guys were bringing up earlier. It's 2.5 million for each one of these plates. They're all limited, so it's 7.5 million for 3 plates a week plus all the other crap that you got to do. So yeah, we already talked about escalation, but this is the 3 of them in a row. They all have different purposes. The first 2, we're not certain what the purposes are, but you need to get them anyways because you don't know what's coming around the bend. So if you're in that, if you're at that level where you feel like you need to have everything, because otherwise there's sort of marginal tweaks at the edge, basically, like I was bringing up earlier as far as the siege targets, which is going to create a larger damage to my ship. So I can use 30 of one type versus plus 18 of another. So across the board of those 2 damage types, I have less resistance, but now this is to fine tune my ship and push it up so I take less damage and also get more armor. And I'm not sure the more armor may be helpful because there's no repair time, so it lowers your repair efficiency. which is a good thing, but you might be taking more damage because of it, the way it's used. So it's tricky. And I'm not sure it should have been released at this point, but I think we should know more about the targets before the D6 C and R got released. But, you know, people can take a chance and see what works for them. So let's go to the next one. All right. This is a repeat of what we talked about last week. This is the intel that we've gotten from Kicksai. I've added more to it based on what we got in the bug fixes. This is a description of all the targets that should definitely be in VXP Weekend and will be in the siege targets in the next week. This one's a short range chart with, and you'll see, George brought it up last Wednesday. The names of some of the first couple imply splash, even though they don't say anything. Breath, and then we see smoke belcher next. They all imply a splash weapon, even though they don't provide that information in the description.
Well, that looks like the splash cannon out of the base parts. What's it called? Expeditions. It's pretty much exactly the same.
I didn't even notice that. I'm just hoping that the whole keep your distance, you don't take a shot means it's a real short range turret and not one where it's two pixels and you're getting shot at.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the case. And again, let's go through these. Let's keep on going. The smoke belcher. Again, feels like a splash weapon. Long reload. Deals both ballistic and radioactive. So this is one of these combo weapons.
There you go.
And
feels like it maybe can be avoided. I don't know. We'll get more into it.
Well, yeah. See, this one says that it has a very long range, right?
Very long reload time.
Very long reload time, and it says very difficult to avoid. So I'm assuming that it has a long range. But if that's the case and it has that really long reload time, this is where you might want to try and peel one of your hulls away and have it shoot at that one while the other one's going for the kill.
Yeah, agreed.
The catch is, though, I'm not going to want to do a fucking raid that I have to do that every single time. I can't do those kinds of raids anymore. I'm not going to sit for 3 days straight to driving the same target the same way every single time. So while it would be cool for the first couple that I do, I'm going to have to figure a way to auto these damn targets at some point.
Yeah, this one's moderate.
Yeah, it sort of looks like what's the mid-range tier 7? Oh, I forget the name of it because I don't really like it. And as far as you're in your base, because these all look like modified versions of our stuff.
Pyroclastic.
The original Pyroclastic.
Yeah, Pyroclastic. So let's go to the next one. All right.
This is one where you use the same picture, right?
No, I changed them.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to get into the firing arcs a little bit later, but this is also a splash weapon, or stay moving, or a dumb weapon at least, or stay moving to avoid its projectiles. So what I'm trying to build here is, do you need evade? That's why I brought up the splash weapons earlier. Do you need evade on your build? And based on these descriptions, so far, doesn't look like it, if we read too much into the names and whatnot. And this one's saying stay moving to avoid its projectiles, makes me think evade is not going to help you. Yeah,
it's just a dumbfire weapon.
Yeah, dumbfire. Okay, let's move on. We got a lot of slides tonight. Yes, and this one, though this damage cannot be dodged, again, does that mean you can't outrun it, or that evade doesn't work?
My initial reaction was that it meant it was an accuracy-based weapon, but I mean, I don't know, because when you said it last week, when you said it last week, I was like, ooh, does that mean that it's accuracy-based, or does it mean that like it's evade-proof? I would guess, if I had to bet, I would hope that it meant the former rather than the latter, because the latter would just be, I mean, it could mean both at the same time even. You know, they could make the accuracy like 1,000 and it doesn't matter how much evade you got, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in the past.
Or it could just have a really high splash on it.
Yeah, or does dodging mean going fast? Or does it mean putting a lot of evade on?
I thought, because of the descriptions of the other ones, I thought that it meant it was accuracy-based, because the other ones were all splash-based, so that was like a way to kind of differentiate it. And it looks just like a javelin. I mean, I know we shouldn't base anything on just the looks, but you know, that's one of those long-range turrets that have it's accuracy. So
can we stop talking about the fucking artwork, please?
Yeah, well, we got a special thing at the end for artwork. You know, it's George's special thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
If we go back to the name, Slug Thrower, if somebody throws something, you know, who knows?
Going to act like a thrower.
I mean, the name kind of is counterintuitive, because a slug thrower, to me, like that kind of weapon would sound more like a dumbfire weapon that did a whole lot of splash.
Well, no, it's not. It's a ballistic thrower, isn't it? Slug, as in ballistic fucking...
Yeah, like a shotgun.
Right.
And then thrower, as in thrower, fucking...
So it's a railgun.
As in throw a weapon in the fucking game already.
Yeah, because it doesn't mention radioactive here. Like a lot of them mention ballistic and radioactive, so I'm not. It doesn't feel like the thrower, but we haven't seen. You know, maybe
I reckon
reviews.
it's going to be a splash-based fucking ballistic weapon.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's going to be accuracy-based, but it tells me, because it's ballistic and it does, you know, it does massive amounts of damage. That means if I'm going to try and design an auto hull, ballistic's the one that I want to take a peek at first. We'll definitely see this week. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you know. Again, this is all a preview to Friday, when we can see these in the DXP targets. You may die immediately, some horrible death, but you know, if somebody wants to build everything and test stuff out, this is your opportunity. So, all right, should we go to the next one?
Holy crap.
All right. Yeah, this one, there's no real, you know, there's no real clue if it's, you know, if evade would work versus this. You know, if it sounds like it hurts because, you know, you want to use the mountains for cover. I don't know. Let's think about this. Well, primary ballistic, which means it also does radioactive. So
yeah, but also as well, a lot of them have got set firing arcs, haven't they? This is probably a weapon that's going to be able to hit wherever on the fucking map. So,
well, except for when it says omni javelin, that's the part. You know, omnidirectional is, you know, my favorite. You know, what I go to first when I hear the word omni. Besides the Dodge Omni, but yeah, that's way old. But yeah, you know,
omnipresent,
omnipotent. But yeah, it's omnidirectional is the only thing I can think of why they put this prefix here. But who knows? Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Holy crap!
Yeah, this isn't relevant to this raid cycle because this is to deal with the Shrike as far as surfacing it. So let's move on.
Oh.
Mountains.
No.
Yeah, they provided these pictures along the bottom as far as how mountains are going to look.
What pictures?
What bottom?
Yep. You know. So the Shrike can fire over it. The Eradicator cannot. So this is the situation that we're dealing with at this point. The mountains allow for, it appears for all their damage types to be, for all their weapons to be blocked if you hide behind the mountains. So, you know, maybe that's what that bow is doing. I don't know. But, yeah. They've given us some more detail about the targets. So let's go on to the next one, you know, because we got the mountains taken care of.
It won't work.
What?
It's not working.
Okay. Yes.
That was for George.
Really? Okay.
Extended.
Okay. We're going to start seeing this in the targets as far as the heavy turrets. I'm not sure that the heavy turrets are always paired with a particular. Well, could be. Well, okay. With a particular weapon type that we've seen. I could have come up with another picture for heavy turrets, but they provided several of them, so we'll move forward with that. If you mouse over, you know, if you park in the corner and you mouse over a turret, it will show you its firing range and I guess distance. I'm not sure if that's completely true, but it at least shows you the angles they can fire at. And it's weird that, you know, eventually they will rotate starting in the first raid. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what eventually means in this instance. And
That's
then
third
provide
day of the raid, mate. Third day of the raid.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. Or the third hour, who knows? Yeah. So this is a look at one of the targets with the mountains, and you know, and then click one more time, Mike. And it appears some of them have a, you know, a double range with a blind spot. This one appears to be a longer range one.
This reminds me of the mega hull when we had the Apollos going in.
Yeah, it also reminds me of the one of the pictures I had with the mountains. But yeah, but yeah, this one appears to be a long range with a blind spot that you could drive up on. So yeah, they're trying to be tricky, aren't they?
I mean, looking at some of this, it looks like if eventually, when you've got the two hulls out, like you could prep certain stuff out and then use the other hull possibly to like negate a bit of damage, possibly. But who knows?
Yeah.
It's all about.
All right.
Well, until we actually see it in action, we ain't going to be able to tell what we say.
Yeah, yeah. But these are, you know, basically the takeaway here is to, once you look at these targets and try and figure out what to do, scroll over the turrets and see what the action that they have. I'm not sure if they're, I'm assuming if they're not rotating or whatnot. I'm not sure if they'll show you anything. I don't know yet, but at least the ones that have this limitation will show you.
Just
I mean, if they rotate, they'll probably have a circle. Go ahead.
Sorry, on that picture, it's two turrets that's selected, isn't there?
I'm assuming it's one. I don't know because they provided, this is example one and this is example two.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it looks like there's two turrets selected there. Like if you actually look at the picture on the left.
But I don't know how you select two turrets.
It's two turrets selected on the left, or it looks like. I mean, there's boxes around each one of them.
Okay, maybe that's it. Okay.
Yeah, because if it's gonna be a turret that has, you know, a full 360 arc, you're gonna see the full 360 arc.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All I get to see is the pictures. So let's move on, Mike. Oh, the TLCs. Allied Boon campaign. Is this a new one or not? This seems like an old one. This is the one you have to hit with assault first, and then I forget the order. No, T6 or T7 fleets of each silo are required to complete this campaign. I've been playing this game for a while, and I know what that means. But so we need one of each weapon type besides garrison to accomplish this. But yeah, that's not helping people.
Stupid question. We're going to need, or lower targets are going to be able to use boons or buccaneers.
Maybe
the raid. Is that what I'm getting from this? Because otherwise, there's no reason, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You would have thought.
Yeah. For advanced players, if you have, and that's a potential thing. If you have, and I'll bring this up again with the Hydras, if you've already used your radioactive and ballistic resistors, this might be a good way to get them off, unless you want to just melt down your Buccaneers. I wouldn't melt on your Hydras, and that's why I highlighted those ones as far as the build tokens involved. As far as just removing the resistors so you can put them on your Eradicator. Because there seems to be, potential issue because they have not introduced anything new or up the limits as far as I can tell.
Damn
it. Okay. I mean, potentially you could use them. I don't know. I'm just saying from my perspective, that's the way I looked at it.
Okay, I'll wait.
And this one's ongoing. This one's tricky. This is another skirmish one. I have not hit it because it started right before the show.
It's not skirmish, it's assault, mate, isn't it?
It's PvP.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. It's assault. Yeah. It's assault. I'll explain just the general. You have 5
cores and the Makara. It says on the thing.
Oh, not the proto Apollo, but okay. There's 5 prize packs, and each prize pack you win a treasure chest, and that's what is at the bottom. Set 1 through 7 are the different possibilities you'll get on the treasure chest, and then you'll get a 1-day tier 7 build token and 20,000 titanium, and so you'll get that set of a haul, weapon, and special for each one that you complete.
Wonder if you can use your Katie's.
I don't have a Katie's, so
not sure actually.
Yeah, and Ren's saying Proto Apollos do very well. Does anybody have any thoughts on hitting them with Katie's? Does it work?
I have no idea. It doesn't say that the Katie's is locked out of it. So.
That's if they let you do it.
I have not tried yet. I haven't really played for a little bit, so I don't know.
Okay.
Just curious.
Yeah. I mean,
looks like all PvP help.
Yeah, it's PvP help, sort of. It depends on where you are in the game, because you get 1 token. And then they're basically giving you stuff for like a 13 or 14-day build. So it's sort of a catch-up mechanic. Maybe not, in case because it's random what you get. You may want to get the Witch Doctor. You complete it 5 times, but you got randomly, 7 potential or 6 potential choices. So you may not get. You may get 3 Revenants and 1 Onslaught and 2 Missile Storm Cruisers. You don't know at this point what you might win. So yeah, and David says the Katie's works. Does it work well? Okay, you did one before the show. I'm assuming it works well. So there we go. Who knew that the Katie's was going to be the entree to PvP content? So
Maybe it won't be in a half hour, but okay.
okay. Any more thoughts on the Conqueror's Gamble? Okay, let's move on.
We've done this one.
Yeah, we've done this one, and this is a skirmish campaign, and very easy. If you have bats, I'm not sure about the free bats, but the reason that I highlighted the build tokens is what I mentioned earlier. I'm not certain whether we need to, or would be advisable to use the either the radioactive or ballistic resistors. I have my ballistic resistors on my hydras, and this would be a good way to refit them if I need to put them on my Eradicator. Because I could, I already have the tokens to do it, but maybe not everybody else does. So, and it's if you have, I went through Price Pack 3 with my.
If you picked up any of the C and R charged armors that you were missing during the raid as well, might be a good idea to do this, to put them onto your Hydra if you didn't have enough of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Just for the meantime, for being base part targets or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on now, Mike. Throat to tear. Some structure tokens. Otherwise, unless you're really catching up, not worth much to build here. So, and uses Inferno Dragons. Base race. Again,
it still really fucking annoys me.
Yes. You can pretty much use your icebreakers or a gridiron monolith with other monoliths. Most people, 99% of people, I think, are using icebreakers. And
I've scrapped mine because I built Infernos, so it just pisses me off every time it comes up that they've locked out the fucking Infernos.
Yep. And what you're able to get out of it is a one-day structure build token. If you have everything in price pack 1 through 4, and it's a mastery run of 3, which allows you to upgrade 1 defense platform to level whatever it is at this point. 10, yeah. So that allows that to happen immediately. So it's not a ton of damage with decent icebreakers. I've never tried it with monoliths, so that's where it's at. This is, I think, the third time we actually saw it twice in 1 week. That wasn't intentional, but we did see it twice in 1 week. And
didn't we just do this last week?
Well, it wasn't last week, but it was close to that.
This feels like it was so close. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't.
It was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm allowed to talk about this. This goes back towards the beginning of the show. That there's supposed to be a mini VXP weekend for the 4th of January. The fuck? It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
that's during the raid. Well,
that means that the raid's obviously the week after, isn't it? It must be.
So did they push the raid a week, I guess? So the raid's not.
The raid would be pushed to the week after, and I'm guessing that's to allow you to rank up your flagship.
Yeah, so the raid might start on the 10th as opposed to the 3rd.
Yeah.
Of January. Okay. I guess that makes some of it make more sense.
Yeah, would make sense.
Okay, 2nd Thursday rather than the 1st. Never mind. Okay, let's skip over that. All right, are we done with we're done with slides, right?
It appears we are, yes.
Okay. I'll take you off present and invite anybody else that'd like to join us in the chat on the right-hand side. And so, any thoughts that anybody has at this point? George, Irf, Mike?
Hello.
I had a question, but I forgot it.
Okay, well, that's good.
Comes
At
up
least you're on
again.
top of it.
Yeah, well, you know, it comes up again. I'll blurt it out.
Okay. Hey, Watchman, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, not looking forward to the new road targets.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I'm an old fart. My eyes ain't brilliant, and all them turrets look the fucking same to me. Sorry for the language, but yeah.
Yeah, they all do have a similar look. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it especially depends on how they're spaced out. We've seen some in the pictures; they appear to be gathered together quite closely. So yeah, that would be a concern as far as picking them out and potentially using some of those.
Well, you've got to drive around fast, haven't you? So you've got to be driving around fast. Don't stop with your eradicators, and then at the same time, work out all the turrets. I know once you've hit it a couple of times, you probably worked out what the fuck is killing you. But you know, yeah, it'd be nice if they changed the colours a little bit on the turrets. You know, so it distinguished them from each other a little bit more clearly.
Yeah, and the other thing I was looking at as far as the ones with the particle blast with the 40 splash and whatnot, I'm just curious how effective they might be in these targets. I mean, we don't really have the opportunity with how much stress is going on is going to be going on. Not that we had it last red cycle, but will be going on inside your shipyard to get these things done in time to test out what's the peak. You know, they keep on changing the pack weapon as far as what the name is going to be, but yeah, it's you know, dense, because you know the current weapon does not have any splash. I don't know if the next weapon, you know, the escalation weapon will have splash or whatnot. Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions for people.
Yeah, I love the escalation weapon coming around just before you finish building your fleet.
Yes. You know, High Lord and Ren have also joined us.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Going? Good. Thank you.
Hey there.
Hey, Ren. How's Canada?
Cold,
Okay, I thought so. It is December.
dark.
Well, you're not that far north where it's dark like 23 hours out of the day, right?
No, but I mean, I probably would have committed suicide at that point. But like, even here, you know, like it's light just before, I don't know, 7:30, and it's dark by 4:30, and I really don't like that.
Yeah.
Same here.
The wife's in hospital, so I've been cycling down there to visit her. And like, you know, I've got lights on my bike, and at 4:30, I have to be fully lit up like a Christmas tree, you know, to get down there, like, you know, and everything. It's dark. It's dark early in the UK. I mean, it's nearly 1:30 in the morning now, but yeah, it's getting dark early around here now.
And you guys almost got a new prime minister today, I heard.
Yeah, whichever one they put in, they're all idiots from that lot. So it's you know, it's a pick from a bad bunch, unfortunately. But you know,
Yeah, I gave up on watching Brazilian soap operas. I just read about Brexit now. It's you know.
yeah, it is. I tell you what, I just think they're deliberately doing it just to keep delaying it. You know, they keep coming up with new tricks to delay it. So there was meant to be a vote on it yesterday, and now they just keep like had tried every stunt to delay it because they realised they wasn't expecting people to vote out, and they thought, shit, they did. Now what do we do? And they didn't have a plan for that.
And I honestly think if they run another vote on Brexit this time, after people saw all the debacle, the whole thing, people would vote to remain. I think, because I think there was this big dream that was sold about what leaving the EU would be.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
you know,
cool. Yeah,
sorry, this is a BP show, not a Brexit show.
Yeah, but I just think they were taken by surprise. They expected to win, and they lost.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh,
and now
shit.
Nobody knows what to do.
And they did have a plan B. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so they've been like stalling every way they can ever since. You know, but yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Back to Battle Pirates and.
Did you guys talk about the flagship TLC, or that didn't come up yet?
Let's talk about it's like the 27th or something.
But I mean, did you have slides or anything? Because I missed all that.
No.
Okay, you mean the Buccaneer Boom TLC?
No. For the Eradicator,
There wasn't a whole lot.
there wasn't nothing really on that. Okay, cool.
But okay, so that's coming up on the 27th, and
I seem to recall it was the 27th then.
But is it going to be a TLC, or they said a Christmas event? They're like one of those.
Okay, yeah. But then there's going
to back through the slides.
Then there's going to be a VXP weekend after that, isn't there? Which would mean that they're going to put back the raid by possibly a week or.
But sometimes they do that because if it's only like the first few days of the month, they don't count that as the first week. So it's still on track.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because
I thought the raid was going to start on the 3rd, so I was planning everything for the start.
That's what I was thinking too.
But I think what happened is, so if it starts on the 3rd, well, you could almost end up having 2 raids in the same month.
Yeah.
You know.
So when you're building your Eradicators, make sure you save your skirmish tokens for that flag.
Yeah.
Siege tokens.
Siege would help better.
Yeah. Siege. I'm old.
I haven't got that many. I think I've only got about 9 of them saved up at the moment. So.
Well, I had 13 of them until this afternoon. I made the mistake of using them. So don't.
So we talked about this last week. What do you mean? You're on the show.
Do you know how old I am?
I'm just messing with you, Mike. It's all good. I don't have any, so I'm screwed anyways. But I mean, it sucks that you had 13.
That's
no, I can get the 4 blank.
It's my go-to excuse when I screw up.
With the FM tokens, I'll have 4. I'll have 4 blanks out.
Yeah, me too, John. Mine's 4 building right now.
Yeah, so I'll have 4 blanks out. Well, I've got the 3rd one's building, but I'll have I'll have all 4 out before the VXP weekend, and that's enough on it. You know,
I'm on the 2nd one naked. Yeah. I think with the FM tokens, I'm gonna get 3 done. I don't think I'll get 4.
Yeah, but with that extra VXP at the end of the month, you'll be able to throw some VXP on them then.
You're right.
Yeah.
And also, go ahead, Drew.
No.
Yeah,
I was just agreeing. Yeah,
I forgot. It was George coming in, but I'm confused. I could finish mine off right now with tokens I have. My 4th one, and we have the FM coming up where we're gonna get 6 more days of tokens. I don't see why people can't get 4 done. Maybe they.
Did you have a bunch of siege tokens stored?
I haven't used one.
Because I only had 1 siege token. I don't know where the others came from. Maybe some TLC escaped or whatever. But I didn't have siege tokens, so that's why I'm not in a position where I can get 4 ships by Friday.
Yeah, I have 13, and I still have 13.
There you go. I don't know where they came from.
Yeah, I'm saving those for the flagship.
It's a 4-day build blank, so it's a long build if you just started building them like right now or yesterday. So
if
you can get a couple out. But
if anyone can answer where we got the siege tokens from,
there was some TLC way back.
It was the one where they gave the ballistic and radioactive charged armor. There was 5 siege tokens in there, blank ones. It was like fucking last year.
You can hold 99. I've still got 9 left, so you know. And I haven't done the. Obviously, I've still got the. I'll take it they're going to start the FM tomorrow. So, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, throughout 2018, I had periods of a few weeks without playing.
Yeah.
And probably came out one of those weeks I wasn't playing and I didn't. So I didn't have these siege tokens. Some people are talking about they have a bunch of.
Yeah, I haven't used anything yet, but I'm still saying is like if you stockpile your generic tokens, it still seems like you should be able to get 4 out. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you should, but not everybody stockpiles it. Not everybody had the time this time. They might be able to for the next one, but
yeah. And Last FM, to be honest, I've been spending all my tokens in breachers and whatnot because I'm really having fun with those. So
yeah,
screw the raid.
I had the FM tokens from before the raid. I hung on to a load of them, so that sped me up a little bit anyway. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I normally always try and save like at least 1 week's FM at a minimum before you go into a raid, just to give you that little bit of a. Because you know you want to get at least 4 blanks built before VXP weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and historically, would we expect? This is an unusual release, the way they're doing it with one and then the next one not being in a TLC. I'm thinking like Bucks versus Hydras, where the Bucks were released in the raid, and then 3 weeks later we got the rest in the TLC. But this is raid to raid, and does anybody expect a TLC that will come out that will have tokens for our Eradicators, or not?
we would hope it would be in that one with the flagship. Maybe there'll be like 3 Eradicator one-day tokens.
That's not a TLC. That's going to be like the Flying Watchman, and this is going to be like
supposed to be. Oh, I didn't realize
It's going to be a special Christmas event, aka the third raid of the month. Because now
it's one of those.
Excuse me.
I got you now. An event
every month now has 3 raids. You know.
I got you now. I got you.
Excuse me. It was a Flying Dutchman. I had nothing to do with it.
No, that was
not the Flying Watchman.
Yes.
Flying.
So.
That was over the
Halloween. Yeah,
Halloween. Yep.
Yeah, and then there was the Thanksgiving of the bacon event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be similar to that. I'm not even going to guess as far as what the target's going to look like.
Well, I'd expect it to be the same skirmish type targets that we had to win these holes with.
Yeah, because we have nothing else.
Yeah, that's it. I'd expect it to be a skirmish-based TLC.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's not based on the fucking Manicores. You know, that's my big hope. That's my Christmas wish, that it's not Manicore based, because that's.
As long as you can use the Katie's, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Because all that shit is based around the Katie's, and that's why a lot of players like me are like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it because it's based around the Katie's, and I haven't been doing assault events because the damage has been based on people owning Katie's and trying to get a certain level, certain group of players or certain. That's the wrong way to put it, but a certain percentage of players in there.
Just so you know, a guy from my alliance was doing TLC with Apollos, like mostly autoing with a little bit of driving here and there only, and like he was doing each price pack for 1 hour damage. It was really reasonable.
Okay.
I don't have Apollos, like I never finished them, but just saying.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, Chris R. I don't know why it says 8 days, 10 hours for your naked haul. You might have been doing the R&D the wrong way. But yeah.
Nothing justifies that because it's like 4 days and a few hours, right?
Yeah, it's 4 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's doing a negative R&D. Yeah.
Like what, for an Eradicator?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm just. Well, we can drop this. I'm assuming he's doing something that's wrong.
So I just remember what my question was. The fact that they're putting boons in there and older hulls, is that intended for lower level.
I would have
players to
assumed,
be
like,
able-
yeah, it's got to be the lower, like the 60s and maybe the 80s, because not everybody's going to have these Eradicators, man. That's just a fact.
Absolutely, yeah. People need to have the other ships, the older ones.
Well, it's to try and make you believe that you can get something with the boons, but I mean, to be honest with you, if you're grinding away with them, you it's going to be hard to win them next time, isn't it? Because normally the points payout is so low.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be tough, but at least they can get some shit. It's going to work. And the boon heals, so that's nice.
Yeah, the Blood Hydra's been working better than the boom or the buck for a long time, though.
Yeah, it's just repair the flag, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. I like those days with the.
Yeah, they were good. They were good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do we have much left? We've been going for an hour and 38 minutes. I mean, we can go longer.
Can I ask you guys a question? Have it before you close out.
Okay, go ahead.
I read in the forum, I think, that they decided to only release the Eradicator and leave the other hull for next month based on players' feedback. Just a small group here. Well, is there anyone here who didn't like having both options?
I don't mind not having. I don't mind having both options. I mind having to have both fleets to be efficient.
Yeah.
No, but that's going to happen again. They're still going to somehow require 2 fleets if you really want to maximize your results in a raid, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
They're going to still do sets and.
But see, that's the
But
thing.
it's just
Why?
like last time. I liked having both hulls with both weapons and everything. And okay, I like this one better. I'm going to start with this one.
Right, but why? I mean, they can tune the targets so we can actually have an honest-to-God choice and go, hey, you can do both of the targets with either one. It's just up to you which kind of playstyle you like.
They're not going to do that. I have zero faith they're going to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you asked, and my issue is that having to have both of them to be truly efficient. That's my biggest pet peeve.
I think if they actually listen to player feedback would say they want 1 fleet per raid cycle.
Yes.
You know.
Well, even that. Wait, let me go first, though, real quick. Even that, like what George is saying, what Ren is saying, it's fine to have both choices, and I wish we could only pick one. And if one was viable, there needs to be like a 100 A and B for, say, the Eradicator, and then like a 200 A and B for the Shrek, and then you can get the bonus from those sets, so you don't have to cross over and have both fleets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in the first raid, they were kind of true to their word, where if you only had 1 fleet, you could do the 2 elite targets. You take a little bit more damage here than there, fine. But in December now, literally, if you didn't have both, you could not complete a set because you really couldn't take Razor Tails on the 108 with 15 smart torpedoes coming at you. You couldn't get anything done.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning of the cycle, I said you needed both, but yeah.
Yeah, and I went for both, but a lot of people just trusted what Kicks. I said, oh, no, they're saying it's optional. Like, you can do with 1. And bullshit, by the 3rd month, you could not.
No, it was. And what's going to happen, because my concern was the TLCs and things like.
Hey, just release 1 ship for me. I don't like having both, right?
And I think
it's the amount of time it takes, to build 2 fleets, because you're normally refitting other stuff. People have got other fleets to build, and especially players that are trying to play catch up.
Yeah, I think more of the issue is not associated with 2 fleets. It's how much subsidies they provide us. As far as the tokens that we get in TLCs and whatnot. As far as how difficult it is to achieve 2 fleets, that's. I think that's probably where they're looking at things. And I didn't even I got both of these fleets done, and all those mana core things. I was like, "Fuck this! This is ridiculous." As far as the damage that we were, and I didn't even do them. I didn't even peek some of them. I'm like, I don't. I have 2 sets of mana cores, and I'm like, I'm not going to take out that kind of damage, and I just didn't do it.
Yeah, I've got 2 medical fleets.
Because I have to drop. Good night, everyone.
Later.
Bye, Ray.
Take care, man.
Yeah, I've got the 2 Manti fleets. I've got obviously the Razors, the full Razor fleet, and I've got the Bat fleet and the extra Bat fleet they threw at us. You know, I'm not sure if I want to scrap. I didn't get the extra flag, so because that would have been nice.
Because you weren't watching the show. I thought they said that everybody was watching the show got the extra bronze.
Yeah,
I was.
Oh yeah. Guys, I gotta pop off.
I was working.
I hope y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys Friday. Tune in Friday, and you can hopefully someone else will figure it out too before then. But I'll definitely share it on Friday. I'll test it first thing when the VXP targets come out. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, hope y'all have a good night.
Take care, George.
Later, George.
Good night, George.
All
right. Do we have anything that's still ready for prime time, or should we take it to the after show? And I'll post a link in case anybody else would like to join.
I'm gonna have to shoot off as well, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you all later.
Take care.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. Well, we're gonna end the show and see y'all on Friday. We'll probably have more details on how to build the Eradicators, maybe. That's the hope. Trying to figure out what the target looks like besides little snapshots and quick little videos. And hopefully we'll have more to talk about at that point as far as how to move forward. I'd put the weapons on there. There's no... If somebody tells you to put countermeasures on them, unfriend them on Facebook. Unfriend them and potentially block them. There's no reason to have countermeasures on your Eradicators. I mean, you know,
God,
I'm going to block them, but yeah, you guys can make your own choices from there. So we'll see you all on Friday, but don't put countermeasures. Even the best countermeasures are not going to work here.
Great. So 2 sprint, 2 Flanix, 4 on each one won't work.
No, you're wasting a weapon slot.
yeah. It's not going to be a happy time for you with that.
I mean, I've got a mock build at the moment, you know, which is like with C1 CR armor on, you know, 4 of those on each, and obviously the nuclear accelerators and the new welded barrel system just to ramp up the speed because they both give it 24%. Plus combat speed, and it says, you know, keep bloody moving, basically.
Yeah. So if you have people providing you builds with missile defense system 4 or whatever, or 3 or 4 or whatever, block them on Facebook and make a complaint about them, because that's not the way to do it. So we'll see you all on Friday, and good night, everybody. I put the link in the right-hand side in case you'd like to join the after show. And, don't put countermeasures on. Later, people.
Great.
Later.